Hello, welcome to another video. It's OT19 or Ultimate Gamer 19,000, and I am here today to present to you all episode 2 of season 2 of Random Multiclass Thursdays. And today's build, we'll be covering the Warrior of Radiant. So yeah, let's just get right into today's video. So for our weapons, this build will be wielding a greatsword. Now, you can wield a sword and shield, or a sword and a mace and a shield if you want to, or you can use the whole Nick dagger hand axe, light hammer. You can also use any weapon with this build. It really doesn't matter because of how this build is formed. You just have to have a weapon. Now, a weapon with the highest damage dice will propel you with the most amount of damage. Trust me, dual wielding usually is a lot stronger than wielding one weapon, but in this case, wielding one weapon is significantly stronger because of certain scenarios we can achieve ourselves in. But again, if you want to be wielding a sword, because maybe you don't like clerics with great swords, or maybe rather a maul. I mean, honestly, as long as your weapon is like either 2d6 or a d12 or a d10 at minimum, you'll probably be fine. But if you want to use like a d8 long sword, then just know your damage will be decreased by a decent amount. I mean, this build is still doing way too much damage. This build is probably going to get banned at your table, but if you want to run it to full capacity, just know you should most likely use a greatsword. Now, for our origin, I'll be taking the farmer origin. We can increase our strength, our constitution, and our wisdom, which is all we're going to be, which is very much needed. We can pick up the tough feat, which is very important for this build, because this build has a very low constitution. As we see, yeah, we have a 13 constitution after putting in our origin bonuses. So yeah, we need tough. So being able to get tough plus increasing all the stats we need is absolutely massive. Also picking up animal handling in nature. I'm pretty sure I think animal handling's wisdom. I don't think nature's wisdom. And we'll be having a really good wisdom score. So being able to have that is pretty nice. And also, we will be dumping intelligence, so at least our nature will be semi positive at a little higher levels. Now we also get tool proficiency in carpenter's tools, and that's about it. Now for this level 1, and now for our origin feats we want for this build, we're going to be picking up human because this build is in desperate need of magic initiate wizard. Now as a human you get resourceful and skillful. Resourceful gives you an use of heroic inspiration whenever you long rest, which is pretty damn powerful, and also skillful, you gain proficiency in one skill of your choice. Honestly, those two are cool features, but we're not picking human because of them. We're picking human because they're versatile. Being able to pick up Magic Initiate Wizard really is nice because we can pick up Blade Ward, True Strike, and Shield. With Shield, we can add a +5 bonus to our armor class using a reaction, which in this build we probably won't be using too often, so having shield is massive. True Strike is just so pivotal to our damage, and what True Strike allows us to do is use our Wisdom modifier to attack with a weapon, any weapon by the way, and the weapon now deals radiant damage instead of its normal damage type, and also deals additional damage at higher levels. Just know True Strike is a cornerstone of our high damage. Also, we get Blade Ward, which as an action, yeah, it is a little pricey, but if you want to, as an action, you can make everyone roll a d4 and subtract that to their attack roll against you, which can be pretty powerful. Now, for our stats, in total, including origin bonuses, we'll be picking a 15 strength +1 thanks to our origin, 16 in total, 8 dexterity, 12 con +1 thanks to our origin, so 13, 8 intelligence, 15 wisdom, +1 thanks to our origin bonus, so 16 in total, and a 13 charisma. Now, you may be saying, why do you have a 13 charisma? You'll see in about 10 levels why we have a 13 charisma. Yeah, overall, these are probably your best stats. Now, these stats do have a certain problem, that is a low con score, and also our main ability score is not is not an uneven number, which I know it is a problem, but trust me, this build makes up for that problem very, very quickly. So yeah, 13 con does suck, but we'll be able to fix that. I mean, with tough and then level 4, we will be taking a feat that completely just fixes that. So don't worry about it too much at least. At level 1 as a cleric, we get proficiency in wisdom and charisma saving throws. We can also take proficiency in history, insight, medicine, or persuasion. I would recommend insight and persuasion because you're gonna be you have a decent charisma and a good wisdom. As a human, I'll probably pick up perception as well because might as well just have it. But as a level 1 cleric, we have Divine Order, and I'll be picking the Protector feature. This basically gives you proficiency of martial weapons and heavy armor, which we will be using heavy armor and we will be using martial weapons. So yeah, Protector, a massive pickup. Now, for your first level spells, I recommend picking up Bless, Command, Cure Wounds, Guiding Bolt, Healing Word, and Shield of Faith. Now, if you're willing to wait until level 3, do not take Guiding Bolt or Shield of Faith because you get that with your subclass. But I know some people might not want to wait that long. But just know that if you want to wait, or you're starting at 3rd level like anyone else, then Guiding Bolt and Shield of Faith, you probably shouldn't prepare them. Because at level 2, we do now gain Channel Divinity. Now, Channel Divinity is a feature that does scale. I will be showing the class chart at the end of the video, so make sure to stay to the end. And basically, Channel Divinity reads, we have a certain amount of uses, level 2 when we first get it. And basically, every time we take a short rest, we gain 1 expended use, but when we take a long rest, we gain all of them. It's different to the 2014 version, which I kind of like the 2014 version. It just scales and we get all the uses back. I mean, Channel Divinity now is just more broadly applicable because we now have Divine Spark. Divine Spark basically reads is that as an action, we can either heal the creature for a d8 plus our wisdom modifier, or they take necrotic or radiant damage equal to a d8 plus our wisdom modifier. Now, if you want to deal damage, they have to make a constitution saving throw. On a failed save, they take full damage. Half, they take half damage. And also the damage does scale at level 7. It's 2d8, level 13, 3d8, and 18, 4d8. Now, that's the damage and the healing that scales. So overall, I mean, Cure Wounds now heals 2d8 plus your Wisdom mod. So, I mean, overall, I'm not. It's a feature. I definitely do think at level 2, especially if you're not taking Guiding Bolt or Shield of Faith, you're gonna be using Divine Spark. Maybe every single combat if you have it. Now, you do have Turn Undead. It is very much similar to the 2014 version. Basically, as a action, every undead you see must, within 30 feet of you, no, of your choice, so if you have undead allies, you don't have to, must make a wisdom saving throw. If they fail, it has the frightened and incapacitated condition for 1 minute, and for that duration, they must move away as far as they can from you. And also, this effect ends early if you die, are incapacitated, or if the creature takes damage. Yeah, that's what we get at level 2. Now at level 3, we gain a lot of features thanks to our subclass, so this is going to take a while. At level 3, we gain Guided Strike. When you are a creature within 30 feet of you misses an attack roll, you can expend 1 use of your Channel Divinity and give that roll a plus 10 bonus, potentially causing it to hit. However, if you're using this on an ally, it does take it takes your reaction, not their reaction, which kind of sucks. Now, oh, we do gain this because we are a Wardaman cleric. I'm pretty sure I said it, but if not, we are a Wardaman cleric. So yeah, this is a martial focused druid. A martial focused cleric, not druid. Got my words mixed up. So yeah, overall, honestly, that's a pretty good feature. I mean, at higher levels, we really want to be landing certain hits because they pack a lot of punch. So I think at higher levels, this actually might be very powerful. At lower levels, it doesn't matter too much, but at higher levels, that's big. Or maybe, I mean, a rogue sneak attack. If you know a rogue is gonna land a sneak attack, maybe using Guided Strike, they just make it where they automatically hit, can be very powerful. I mean, a plus 10 bonus is basically an auto hit, especially since in this build we're going to be abusing the magic weapon spell, which is a very powerful spell. So yeah, that's level 3. And also as a War Domain Cleric, we get 2 additional features. We get an expanded spell list as a War Domain Cleric. We basically gain just a bunch of extra spells that when we reach a certain level, we always have those spells prepared from the War Domain list. Yeah. And now we get one of the other features of the War Cleric, War Priest. As a bonus action, you can make 1 attack with a weapon or unarmed strike. Shout out my monk players out there. You can use this bonus action a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum of once. You're getting all expended uses when you finish a short or long rest. This is very powerful. In earlier levels, we will be using this every match, every fight. At higher levels, however, this does become a little, well, not even. No, actually, no. Yeah, honestly, throughout our whole career, we're going to be using this. It's just during our Nova round. This is actually really powerful because it's not tied to the attack action. So during our Nova round, we have to do a lot of setup. Like we have to cast a spell, then cast another spell. So most likely, we're gonna have our bonus action free. And if we're not healing word to someone, or maybe we can't cast a spell, or maybe we don't have potions, just being able to take a swipe of your sword will be doing grand damage. Yeah, it doesn't have true strike or anything on top of it, but there's a lot of modifiers you can add on to your swings that your bonus action strike will still add on. So yeah, War Priest, it's just really good because at every level it has its usage. Now, as a Borderman cleric, we gain Guiding Bolt, Magic Weapon, Shield of Faith, and Spiritual Weapon, always prepared. And I mean, those four spells are ones clerics are going to be taking. I know many clerics that aren't War Domain that take Guiding Bolt, Shield of Faith, and Spiritual Weapon. So, as a War Domain cleric, having the most offensive cleric spells is very nice. Also, Magic Weapon is now very good because it's no longer concentration. I don't know if it was always in action, but now it's a bonus action, which is very powerful for a certain reason. So yeah, overall, very good spell list. Now, for our second level spells, there are two spells which I feel are a must have. These spells you must pack every single day. If not, you are screwing yourself over. Aid and Prayer of Healing. Yes, I know, Hold Person, Enhance Ability, Lesser Restoration. Those are very alluring spells, but trust me, Aid and Prayer of Healing are just so good. Aid, giving most of your party, you're able to give your barbarian, your fighters, or maybe your wizards, or warlocks, or your gish characters, your marshals that have that D8 hit dice, you're able to just give them more HP. And yes, with this build, you are going to be spending a lot of your spell slots. But I mean, spending one of your like fifth level spell slots a higher level, that's 25 like permanent HP. I mean, also, if you're worried about a character getting Fingered of Death or Power Word Stun or any of those type of spells that have a hit point threshold, then Aid is a very powerful spell. Now, Prayer of Healing is a 10-minute short rest. That's all I have to say. Prayer of Healing is extraordinarily powerful, and especially since we need short rest because of a certain feature, because of War Priest, and War Priest, we gain all of our uses back on a short rest. It's just really good build synergy, and I feel like if you're not taking Prayer of Healing, you're really screwing yourself out of this build's full potential. But Lesser Restoration, Hold Person, Enhance Ability are very powerful spells, and if you have more spells you can prepare, then trust me, you probably want to prepare those three. Now, at fourth level, we gain a feat or ASI. I guess we just get a feat now because ASI is a feat. So, but we're going to be picking up Resilient Constitution to be specific. Resilient basically reads is we choose one ability score and we can increase that ability score by 1 and gain proficiency in said saving throw. Now we're picking up con here for two reasons. First of all, 14 con increasing our HP by 1, and also our Constitution saving throws is a +1, which when we're using Spirit Guardians at 5th level, which is in 1 level, you want to have Spirit Guardians up at all times, especially higher levels, because holy does it get busted. So yeah, being able to add a +2 or +3 in next level to our Constitution saving throws just makes it so much more reliable and a lot less of a headache. Now, at level 5, this is when our build truly gains a little, starts building up a little more. Our level 5, we get Seer Undead. Basically means when a undead creature fails your saving throw against turn undead, they take a number of D8 equals a number of D8s equal to our Wisdom modifier, and this damage is radiant, which matters a little later. I mean, yeah, Destroy Undead was a very bad feature that hardly was ever used, and when it was used, it's always a scenario where the cleric already has Spirit Guardians, someone's probably has Fireball, if not, they have something, like most characters have AoEs, or have ways to just destroy, or like a spike growth. So Destroy Undead was never really powerful, but now Seer Undead is just always gonna be good. And now as a fifth level Warderman cleric, we also get Crusader's Mantle and Spirit Guardians always prepared. And having Spirit Guardians always prepared is such a nice benefit because we're going to be using it every single fight. Now, third level spells that I personally recommend: Aura of Vitality, Beacon of Hope, Dispel Magic, Mass Healing Word, Remove Curse, Revivify, and Sending. Now, Revivify is another must-have spell. I mean, if a character dies, being able to bring them back is just necessary in D&D, especially in harsher D&D worlds or even in non-harsher D&D. Having Revivify, even if there's a skill challenge tied to it, will always be nice. And also, your team probably is going to want to fund the diamonds you're spending because it's not. I know a lot of people, and there are a lot of tables where sometimes players like don't fund the spellcasters for like their spells. But I know almost every single table. If someone's saying I want to buy a diamond for Revivify, everyone at the table is going to chip in for at least 2 or 3 diamonds, even if the whole group has like 1,500 gold in total. Buying at least 1 or even 2 diamonds is so beneficial to the whole party. It's just a low key a must have. So I definitely do think Revivify is a must have. Sending can be very useful in certain scenarios. Aura Vitality, again, the best healing spell in the game. So I do definitely recommend picking up Aura Vitality. Now, all the other healing spells are really good, but I don't know how much of your first level spell slots you want to be wasting on Cure Wounds to get the maximum benefit when you could be casting Shield instead. So it's really up to you. Overall, I think Aura Vitality is just a pretty good, pick off. Now, we have our 5th level damage report. So this is how it's going to turn out. At turn 1, we're going to be using Spirit Guardians at 3rd level and using our bonus action Strike. On average, assuming they fail the saving throw and we hit our attack, they they um they get hit for 23.5 damage on average, assuming they get hit and fail a saving throw. That's pretty damn nice. Now I do know there are multiple ways to proc Spirit Guardians, but I'll just be assuming that every round the guy we're facing maybe starts their turn in Spirit Guardians or something like that, and just takes the Spirit Guardians damage. Or I mean, we could move into them now. I'm pretty sure you're allowed to move into people with Spiritual Guardians now, or something like that. I know the rules are really weird, but whatever. Assuming a creature takes Spiritual Guardians damage, they'll be taking 23.5. Now, turn 2, we'll be using our bonus action to cast Magical Weapon at 3rd level, and using our action to cast True Strike. Oh, damn, sorry. And using our action to cast True Strike, this allows us to do an average of 29 damage when you include Spiritual Guardians. So just know that for the sake of all this damage, we are including Spiritual Guardians in the average. Now, on your turn 3, use your action to cast True Strike and use your bonus action to whack an enemy, and you'll be dealing 41 damage. So yeah, now from for turn 3 to turn 4, you can now just action True Strike, bonus action whack, and then from turn 5 and onward, your enemy is probably going to be dead if you're doing 41 damage on average. Now, your average to hit is 18, which is very nice with Magic Weapon. Your spell save DC is 14, and your Constitution saving throw is a +5. With no Magic Weapon, however, you have on average you're rolling a 16 to hit in a target. Now, at level 6, we gain War God's Blessing. You can expend the use of your Channel Divinity to cast Shield of Faith or Spiritual Weapon, not spending a spell slot, which is really good because you can no longer cast 2 spell slots in a turn, and the spell doesn't require concentration. However, it only lasts for 1 minute, which I'm pretty sure both spells only last for 1 minute. So, but yeah, this is a very powerful use of Channel Divinity. And if you want to now, before you get into a fight, Shield of Faith using War God's Blessing and Blade Ward, and then boom, you're just going to be very defensive. Combined with Shield, your armor class is going to be extraordinarily high because you're going to have 18 because of base plate, +5, which is 25, then another +2 thanks to Shield of Faith. You're going to have a 25 armor class, assuming you cast Shield of Faith, which is only a bonus action. So you probably could cast it on subsequent turns, or maybe if you want to. Well, actually, here, going back, I mean, on turn 1, you could cast Spiritual Guardians, and then use your Channel Divinity to cast Shield of Faith instead of using that bonus action Strike. I know on turn 1, your damage will decrease a little bit, but I mean, I still think it's a very good. I think it's still a good play, honestly. Or if you want to, you could take a whole extra turn and just use Spiritual Guard and use Blade Ward and your channel divinity war god's blessing to shield of faith. I'm not saying that. I'm not gonna be personally accounting that into calculations for just this is just like the sake of damage. This is to see what's possible to be able to reach and we know in a fair amount. And overall, I won't be accounting that, but definitely I think if I may be in combat, if I know a combat encounter is gonna be deadly, if I'm gonna be taking a lot of hits from very weak creatures, spiritual I think Shield of Faith, Blade Ward is honestly going to be my best option here. Now, at 7th level, we get Blessed Strikes, which thanks to us being a cleric, we can deal an additional D8 radiant damage when we hit a creature once on each of our turns. This is very good for our build in about 3 levels, you'll see why. And also, as a War Domain cleric, we gain Fire Shield and Freedom of Movement as spells we always have prepared, which I mean both of them are very powerful spells. Now, 4th level spells. Honestly, I recommend here picking up Banishment and Death Ward. Being able to banish a creature is sometimes going to be better than just killing it outright. And Death Ward can be really useful for yourself or any of your allies to just cast it on them very quickly. Now, at 8th level, we'll be taking the Ability Score Improvement feat and getting a +2 to our Wisdom, making it an 18. I mean, our Wisdom's our spell save DC, our attack modifier with our action, which is going to matter a lot more. Overall, it's just so much stronger. Increasing our Wisdom increases our attacks, our Spiritual Guardians, which is one of our main sources of damage. And yeah, overall, it's just very powerful. Oh, I skipped a level. Now, at 9th level, we don't get any class features, but we do gain 5th level spells. Also, this is the Summon Celestial artwork. It is absolutely beautiful. I love the steel, like the kind of like steel, like heated up steel aesthetic it has. I love it. I just think it's really cool. I never imagined Summon Celestial as something like this, but I definitely do like how they imagined it. But yeah, with 5th level spells, Flame Strike, Greater Restoration, Planar Binding, Raise Dead, Scrying, and Summon Celestial can all provide you a pretty good utility. I do think that Greater Restoration and Raise Dead might be must picks. I mean, I think Greater Restoration is a must pick because there are just so many conditions which is like, oh, this is no longer a problem. Boom, Greater Restoration. So I do definitely think picking up Greater Restoration is a must have. And also, any of these other ones can just be, pick your favorite. And also, maybe if you're thinking of fight, having a Celestial to help your allies defeat the enemies is going to be a better choice than Spiritual Guardians, and by all means, use some Celestial. Now, as a War Domain Cleric, we do gain Hold Monster and Steel Wind Strike, which are both pretty powerful spells. Hold Monster, of course, allowing us to auto crit, and Steel Wind Strike allowing us to target many creatures. But since it's force damage, we won't be using it for today's calculations. But still, no, they're still both valuable spells. Oh, we get level 10 as a cleric. We get Divine Intervention. You call upon your deity or pantheon to intervene on your behalf. As a magic action, choose any cleric spell of level 5 or lower that doesn't require a reaction to cast. As part of the same action, you can cast a spell without expending a spell slot or needing material components. You can't use this feature until you finish a long rest. This is the most broken feature in the history of D&D, and I'll show you on our level 10 damage report. So, on our first turn at level 10, we'll be using our Divine Intervention to cast Hollow. If you don't know what Hollow does, long story short, it allows us to make any creature of our choice wreak to one damage type of our choice. Now, the damage type we'll be making every enemy we hit weak to will be radiant damage. Yeah, now you're starting to see the synergy here. So on turn 1, we use our Divine Intervention to cast Hollow, and then use our bonus action to cast Magical Weapon at 3rd level to gain a +2 to hit. Now, turn 2, we use our action to cast Spiritual Guardians, and then use our bonus action to hit someone. This is dealing 66 damage on average. Holy! And on turn 3, we use our action to cast True Strike and use our bonus action to smack someone in the face. And on average, we're doing 99 damage. Yeah! this is really when it starts getting pretty ridiculous. Our average to hit, assuming True Strike, is a 20. on average. Our spell save DC is 16, our con save is +6, and our bonus action to hit is an average of 19. Yeah, this is I mean, our damage basically doubled from our last report, which I think for any build is extraordinarily impressive. Like we basically just like I mean, the monk. Okay, so the monk build I did last week at this level, I think is doing like under half of the amount of damage this one's doing. I mean, yeah, this is like burst or nova, but if your allies have ways to deal radiant damage, then holy, your enemy is screwed. If you have a paladin in your party or another cleric in your party, or I mean anyone that can just deal radiant damage. I mean, if someone has a sunblade, for example, or like something I'm not thinking of, they're gonna be tearing throughout enemies. And now speaking of paladins, at level 1, at level 11, we'll be taking our first level 1 paladin because, you know, Divine Smite and Divine Favor are two features. Now, we do gain weapon masteries and lay on hands as a paladin. Lay on hands is actually pretty nice because it's basically just a once per long rest greater restoration, lesser restoration, or just 5 HP we can give to an ally. No, it's a once per long rest, a bonus action lesser restoration, which is actually pretty damn nice. So that's cool. And also weapon masteries. We most likely won't be using it with this build, but it can still be cool. I think great swords have graze, so I think if we were to miss an ally, we still do like oh, that would be radiant damage if you use True Strike on it. Huh. Okay, maybe weapon masteries aren't that bad. Well, I mean, we're almost always going to be hitting because we can just add a +10 to any of our damage rolls, to any of our attack rolls. It's there. As a level 1 paladin, however, we do gain spell casting. So, as a level 1 paladin, we gain 2 spells. I'll be picking Divine Favor and Divine Smite here. Yeah, I feel like this is when Wizards of the Coast is going to start regretting making Divine Smite a spell that you can gain with a 1 level dip. Now, as a 12th level character, 11th level cleric, we gain some 6th level spells. Sunbeam, Heal, Hero's Feast, all very good options. I mean, Hero's Feast did receive a decent nerf. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You no longer have advantage on Wisdom saving throws, but I mean, you still are resistant to poison damage, still are immune to frightened and poison condition, and your hit point maximum doesn't increase by 2d10. I mean, it's still not bad. I mean, definitely, I feel like if you're going into a really big fight, if you're going into like a fighting an ancient white dragon, for example, it's probably best to just cast the Hero's Feast the day after. I mean, it still lasts for 24 hours, so you could just cast it the night before everyone eats up and boom. So I mean, it still is a good spell. It did get a nerf, which just sucked, but I mean, wait, hold on. Oh no, I was thinking about using Divine Intervention to cast Hero's Feast, but no, it does not work because it's a 6th level spell. So, yeah. I mean, Sunbeam deals radiant damage, which our whole build, so it does 68, but now that's dealing 12d8 thanks to Divine Intervention Hollow. So, I mean, yeah, 12d8 radiant damage is pretty damn good, if you ask me. And also heal. I mean, it's just being able to heal an ally. Who doesn't like healing? It's just nice. Now, as a 12th level cleric, 13th level character, you'll be getting another ability score improvement. I here personally just take another +2 to wisdom, make it a 20, just flat cap it out. It honestly is probably the best thing we can do. None of the other feats really provide us with such a massive damage bonus that increasing our wisdom does. Now you could take that great weapon master here, but the damage increase isn't as big as a plus to wisdom because it's more broad. The plus to the wisdom really. Now, as a 13th level cleric or 14th level character, we gain 7th level spells. Plane Shift, Powered, Fortify, Regenerate, and Resurrection. All good picks here. I mean, Regenerate honestly might be a must have because it is very hard to regenerate lost body parts in D&D. So I think just picking up Regenerate can be very nice. And also, I mean, it allows your DM to now be able to say, oh yeah, you lose your arm, or yeah, you lose your eye, or something like that. So I do think Regenerate's pretty cool. I mean, being able to cast Power Word Fortify on yourself is just gonna be sick. And also, Plane Shift can be Plane Shift won't always be useful, but when it is useful, you're gonna thank every god in existence that you took Plane Shift instead of, I don't know, Resurrection, for example. So trust me, get Plane Shift. It just trust me. Now at level 15, we at level 50 character level 15 or character level 14 cleric or 14th level cleric, we get improved blessed strikes. Instead of being a D8, we now gain 2d8 radiant damage, which basically means that now when we attack someone, thanks to our blessed strikes, we're now dealing additional 4d8 radiant damage because Divine Intervention Hollow is beyond broken. Now, level 15 damage report. I know you see those damage numbers. I can't believe them either. Now, our turn 1, we will be casting Divine Intervention Hollow, bonus action magical weapon at 6th level. This now makes us a +3. Assuming we somehow still don't have a magical greatsword, I've seen campaigns where characters don't have magical weapons until even at really high levels. Bonus action magic weapon, boom, get that +3. We're good. Turn 2, use your action to cast a 7th level Spiritual Guardians, and then do a smack, which does use Divine Favor. Oh, we haven't cast Divine Favor yet. Sorry, but you do use your Blessed Strikes on that, meaning we're doing 94 radiant damage, assuming we hit. Which I mean, our average to hit is a 21.5. We're gonna be hitting almost every single turn. I heavily doubt that we're gonna be facing armor classes that aren't gonna be easy for us to hit. And also, if they fail a DC 18 Wisdom saving throw, then our Spirit Guardians will deal full damage. I mean, our spell save DC is 18, so it is significantly higher. So yeah. And also, our turn 3, we'll use our bonus action to cast Divine Favor, and in our action to use True Strike, and we deal an average of 116 points of damage. And then on turn 4, our Nova turn, we use our action to cast True Strike and Divine Smite with our bonus action, and we deal a whopping of 170 damage. Yeah, yeah, that's powerful, man. Yeah, there's just nothing you can say. That's just straight up just powerful. I mean, even if you want to say, oh, well, what if you've already casted Spiritual Guardians? It's like just having Divine Intervention Hollow up with Radiant damage. Man, even if you're doing smites that deal like 2d8 damage, you still already have another additional source of 2d8. So that's basically each smite, even the first level one, is dealing 4d8. Combined with the other 4d8 you're doing, that's now 8d8 plus 2d6 from your Greatsword, which is now Radiant damage takes to True Strike. That's now 4d6 plus an additional D4 from Divine Favor, which now becomes 2d4, plus an additional I think 3d6. No, is it 3d6? I don't know if it's 3d6. I think it's 2d. I think it's an additional 2d6 thanks to True Strike, which you're doubling again. It's just you have so much damage mods. And it's like you don't even need to be using Spiritual Guardians to deal a boatload of damage. In reality, all you need to be doing is Divine Intervention Hollow, Action True Strike, and Divine Smite. And honestly, you're gonna be doing still a lot of damage. However, this is a YouTube build guide, so of course we're gonna be pushing the damage to its upper limits and seeing what's capable or what's possible. And yeah, 170 is what it's possible. Now, our average to hit, assuming we're using True Strike, is 23.5. Our spell save DC is now 18. Our con save is now a +7, and our bonus action strike averages 21.5 to hit. Meaning, yeah, we're still probably gonna be hitting creatures even at those higher ACs. Now, as a 15th level cleric or 16th level character, we get 8th level spells: Anti Magic Field, Earthquake, Sunburst. Earthquake's just fun. Sunburst deals radiant damage. I think you get it by now. And also Anti Magic Field is again one of those spells that you're probably gonna be using that almost every single combat if you're not doing Divine Intervention wackiness. So Anti-magic field is still a solid option. Now, as a 16th level cleric or 17th level character, we have an additional ability score. Honestly, here, pick your favorite, really. I think for the sake of just pure raw damage, I will just be increasing our strength up by a little bit. But I think, well, no, yeah, okay. But when I was making this video, I kind of forgot Great Weapon Master existed. So you probably should take Great Weapon Master here. I think just increase our strength by +1. Minuscule, that doesn't really matter, but yeah, I think just increasing our strength by a +1. So yeah, I think Great Weapon Master here is our best choice. It does add it doesn't add a +6, which gets doubled to a +12 to every one of our attacks if we're using True Strike. So yeah, I think here you take Great Weapon Master. Honestly, kind of pick your favorite. This build's already doing enough damage, so if you want to take Chef for some reason, take Chef. Take whatever makes you happy. You're a 16th level character that is doing too much radiant damage. So, take whatever makes you happy. Now, as a 17th level cleric or an 18th level character, we get 9th level spells. So here we get Mass Heal, Powered Heal, and True Resurrection. All three of those spells are just really good. Mass Heal and Powered Heal are just very good healing spells that can completely alter the course of a combat. And True Resurrection, of course, it's one of those spells that I feel like is just very powerful because it's True Resurrection. It's in the name. At level 17, we now resist all bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage thanks to being a war cleric. Yeah, this build is pretty damn nutty. So yeah, most likely we're not gonna be feeling those Constitution saving throws no more. We're most likely not gonna be feeling them. At a level 18, as a level 18 cleric, our channel divinity goes up. Yippee! Yeah, that's all we got at level 18. Which, is still pretty nice. Being able to add a +10 when we hit is pretty cool, but yeah, that's about it. And as level 19 character, or 20th level character overall, we gain an epic boon. Honestly, here, again, pick your favorite. Pick whichever epic boon makes you happy. Pick whichever epic boon makes you click your heels and jump up for joy. If it's the one that teleports, the one that makes your attack always hit, honestly, pick whichever you want. Now, time for our 20th level damage reports. So, turn 1, we use Divine Intervention Hollow and bonus action Magical Weapon at 6th level. That's the same. Turn 2, we use our action to cast Spiritual Guardians at 9th level and use our bonus action to hit an enemy, dealing an average of 113 points of damage. On turn 3, we use our bonus action to cast Divine Favor, action True Strike, dealing an average of 154 points of damage. And then finally, our strongest attack, turn 4, action True Strike, Divine Smite at 8th level, dealing 236 points of damage. Wow, absolutely peak. Absolutely, yeah, this is disgusting. Uh yeah. This is pretty nasty. Yeah. Just bar none, this is pretty disgusting, gross. Now, if we're using True Strike, our average to hit is 24.5, and our spell save DC is 19. Our con save is +8. Now, I know here I have that if we're tagging for our bonus action, it's 23. I'm pretty sure here it should be 20. No, I think 23 is right. Yeah, 23 is right. Don't worry about it. Hmm. Yeah, don't worry about it. It may be 22 or 23. Just know our bonus action is most likely also going to be able to hit. And again, we can just add a +10 to anything that misses. So, and also if our bonus action smack misses, it's not that big of a loss. Because, we are doing some radiant damage for our bonus action smack. But, yeah. And also, again, like I mentioned a little earlier ago, if Spiritual Guardians were to fall, we can still True Strike, Divine Smite, Divine Favor, Radiant Weapon, Blessed Strikes, I think it's what it's called. Like, we still have so much opportunities to deal a just bucket load of Radiant damage. There's not much here that's like really. If Spiritual Guardians goes down, we're still going to be dealing obtuse amounts of damage. And now, yeah, that's it for today's video. But if you want to see the cleric spell feature list, the spell table, here it is. At level 6, we gain an extra use of our channel divinity, and at level 18, we gain our final use of channel divinity. That's for if anyone wanted to know. And also, By level 20, we'll have 22 prepared spells, so take that as you will. But yeah, now in my previous video, I did not show you the calculations for the monk and the damage it was doing, and I am sorry. Please forgive me. So in this video, I'll be showing you the damage reports for each level. Now, as a 5th level monk, on turn 1, you'll use your bonus action to make unarmed strikes, and then use your action to attack, assuming you can land an enemy prone, and assuming everything hits, you're averaging a total of 37.5 points of damage, which is pretty damn nice. And also, your average to hit is 17.5. Also, thanks to your average of hit, you most likely will have advantage, making your strikes even more likely to hit. Now, your 10th level damage report is much of the same. Turn 1, bonus action, unarmed strikes, attack action, averaging 52 points of damage, and your average to hit is 19.5. Now, at your 15th level damage report, here's what stuff gets real spicy. Turn 1, bonus unarmed strike, action attack, dealing an average of 58 damage, and we will have an average of 20.5 to hit. And then finally, our 20th level damage report, here's when stuff actually really gets spicy. Turn 1, we use our bonus action to cast Hex, then use our attack action. On average, we'll be dealing 51 points of damage. And on turn 1, and then on turn 2, bonus action, unarmed strikes, action attack, dealing an average of 25 points of damage with an average to hit of 23.5. And then finally, as a 17th level monk, we do Warrior of the Open Hand. We do gain a feature, Quivering Palm, which allows us to do a bucket amount of force damage. So if you were to utilize this to its most lethal potential, which I think is, I think you can use Quivering Palm twice in a turn. I'm pretty sure is how did the calculations. You can do an average. Okay, yeah, I actually wrote it out here. Turn 1, bonus action, cast Hex. On our action, unarmed strike, set up vibrations, then activate them with your second attack. You'll deal an average of 82 damage. And in turn 2, mainly you're going to be doing the same, and you're going to be dealing 180 points of damage. This is assuming you want to waste all of your key points or your focus points, which honestly, be my friend. So yeah. This is basically the end of the video. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But one more thing, I know a lot of people might see these damage